My girlfriend's parents ruined my proposal and tried to break us up.
No!
My girlfriend 30 and I 40 have been in a relationship for 8 years. She is pretty successful, extremely smart, and I can say with complete confidence that she is the best person I have ever known. Much better than me in every way. I feel lucky every day. By the way, this comes from Throwaway7944, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, we have been living together for 6 years at this point. We own a house, share finances, have multiple pets, the whole 9 yards. Recently, I achieved some goals that I have been working towards to make sure we have the opportunity for a good future, mainly paying off debt and starting my own business. This was the goal for me, so I could bring our relationship to the next level and get married. We have discussed it in the past lightly, and I fully believed that we both wanted the same thing. So a few weeks ago, I bought the ring while she was out of town with her father on a trip. Ooh. Her parents are pretty conservative, emotionally. They are also immigrants from a less than positive political country in the 90s. So, although they are a close family, they aren't hugs and I love you close. They are also pretty successful and divorced. I can be a bit old school in my thinking sometimes, and I considered how they act and maybe some cultural differences we share when I made the decision that it would be best to try and get the approval, not permission, from her father first before I made any solid plans on proposal details. I chose this because it felt right, and I was very concerned about straining any of the relationship she had with her parents. So I reached out to her father's longtime partner to try and arrange a lunch or dinner with him, thinking it would be the best way to keep it off the radar so that I could surprise my girlfriend.
Cute.
Her dad has a hard time keeping secrets. I explained what was going on and was met with excitement. I was happy with that. She promised me she would make it happen and let me bring it up to him at a dinner. A few days goes by and I reach out again for an update. He's super busy and really stressed out at work. Maybe another week. Okay, fine. I don't know how difficult a lunch or a dinner is supposed to be, but fine. A few days later, they tell us they're going away for the weekend about 2 hours. I speak to his partner again and I offer to drive out there and buy them a dinner or lunch on either day. I'm told I was being pushy and it's a red flag. She asks me what the rush is. It's been a week after 8 years together. I'm not sure I understand, but okay, just let me know. You can wait a week.
Yeah.
He wants to get a dinner with her dad
Okay.
to ask for the approval.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, yeah, you
Yeah.
can wait a week. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Unless you have like a specific date that you like need to get this done by.
Right. But I
Then
feel like
sure.
it's not something that has to be done like well in advance of the proposal.
Yeah,
it's
true.
just something you want to know you want to do before the proposal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A few more days pass and I finally get a message back with a reservation at an upscale restaurant for the 3 of us. Me, her father, and her father's partner. I practice what I'm going to say and try to anticipate questions that he might have. He's a pretty logical guy, so I'm guessing a question on a prenup will be asked. Not a worry for me, as I'm all for it. Questions on the business? I got my numbers down pat. What to do in case of an emergency financial situation? We have a plan. I'm thinking I am good. Hoping my odds are at a 95% or better. I mean, we have never had a bad interaction. We get along. I treat his daughter like the sun rises and sets on her every day. Or so I thought.
Dun dun dun.
The night of the dinner, I arrive early and pull the manager to try to make sure that we get a bit of extra attention. Anything really to help me out here. And I'm nervous as heck, but still feeling positive. They show up a bit earlier than expected. We get a good table and sit down. We start talking the usual stuff, work, weekend plans, how the trip with my girlfriend went, etc. His partner starts to comment about the loud table next to us. So I pull the manager back and ask him if he can move us to a quieter table. Easy move. We get to order appetizers and I dive in. I tell him how much I love his daughter and how much I respect him and how much it would mean to her and myself to have his approval to get married. He's apparently speechless and pauses for a second. I show him the ring. The Titanic sank in 2 hours and 40 minutes. We sat there for just over 3. I was not prepared for the complete and thorough butt kicking I got.
Oh my gosh.
As expected, I got the questions that I assumed I would be asked, but it quickly devolved into things like, your car insurance coverage isn't good enough. It is. And questioning if I know my blood sugar and potassium levels and why don't I?
What? That is so crazy.
So beyond thorough.
Yeah, we need like a full medical report before you can marry our daughter. That's crazy.
They need to know the genes.
Yeah, literally.
For 3 hours. Remember how I reached out to his partner and she was all excited? I got ripped apart for putting her in an uncomfortable position and forcing her to lie. I was completely drowning. I had no choice but to stay there and take it. It just got worse and worse. Not really angry or yelling. It was more like you got pulled into HR and they wanted to go everything one by one since you were hired. The dinner ended with him saying he'll think about it and he wants to talk to my girlfriend first to see how she feels.
What? You're gonna spoil it though. You can't do that.
Mind you, she doesn't know anything about any of this yet. It's supposed to be a secret. You know, like a surprise proposal. The dinner ended. I paid for the little we had since we never got past appetizers. Tipped the waitress $100. She was great and we occupied a table for 3 hours, so I figured it was fair. On the way out, I smiled, shook their hands, and thanked them for meeting with me. They left. I got in my car and cried.
Aww.
I felt small and worthless more than I ever have. Even now, I can't think about it without swallowing. When I finally got home, I put on a smile. She was already in bed. She asked me if I was okay. I lied and said yes. Cut to 2 weeks later. I've been spinning out pretty bad. I figure I would give the man a month to think about it. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep a smile on my face for her, and it's not working completely.
Yeah, that's so hard because like if he tells her what's wrong, then it'll get spoiled.
Right.
So he can't do that.
I feel like either way it might get spoiled though.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna happen.
This is one of those things though where I'm like, I mean, it's his girlfriend, so I'm sure that she's answered this question, but it's like, is it something that's truly important to her, like to have her father's blessing? I know he said he did it just to keep the peace or like calm ties between her and her family, but like ultimately, like what does she want?
Yeah.
If he comes back and he says no, is she totally cool with being like, I'm gonna marry him anyway, Dad?
Yeah, because that's what I'm wondering too, is like even if he does break down and tell her what's making him so upset, like how is that gonna affect her? Like is she gonna be so mad at her parents, or is she gonna be like, oh my gosh, maybe they're right? Like, or just sad for the whole situation? Like what's I'm so curious.
Yeah. Her mother is passing through the town for holiday weekend and wanted to meet her for lunch. I instantly thought that her dad called her mother and she was going to try to find out how my girlfriend felt about marriage. Oh, how wrong I was. I got a call a few hours later with her in tears, crying on the phone and saying we need to talk when she gets home. I am immediately pissed. I know exactly what it's about and whatever they said upset her. I'm in full flight mode. Remember, she's the good one. She's the queen. I'm more of a gorilla with a bat and full on angry. And she's in tears.
Oh, that's a crazy way to describe yourself and your girlfriend.
There's definitely some potential like weird translations in this because it's not lining up exact. But
gotcha.
When she gets home, we sit and talk. I try to remain calm when she tells me she showed up to a little restaurant and her father popped around the corner. Surprise! She told me that she had her suspicions on what was going on, thought they were there to celebrate. They immediately went into how I asked her dad out to dinner and asked him for his blessing. She still didn't understand where it was going. Then it started. Everything I went through with them, she was now a victim to as well.
Oh my gosh.
They brought up everything they could, not limited to topics like genetics and mental health with my family history. It was brutal and lasted another 3 hours. She was crushed. We talked and cried. She told me everything they said. None of it was good. At one point, her father said he was going to have his lawyer remove her name from the business as a 50% owner. I put her there because I don't want to have a part of my life she isn't involved in. Complete and utter disaster. We eventually get calmed down and just relax the rest of the night. I'm still pissed. The next day, she decides to talk to her dad's partner to see if she can try to find out what went wrong at our dinner. Can't get worse, right? Wrong again. If you go back a bit and read about how I put her in an uncomfortable position to lie and got ripped for it, she didn't. She folded right away. In fact, they had enough time to discuss it between themselves and run a full background check on me.
Oh my God.
Court records, financials, criminal history, probably with a lawyer's help. For the record, I have very little debt, maybe $3,000. No criminal history, but I came from nothing. Dad bailed when I was around 9, and Mom occasionally stopped by after 12 when she wasn't scamming dudes for free stuff and vacations out of state. I may have not led the best life, but I was focused on survival because I was a kid. So my records probably reflect that. But at the end of the day, I'd like to think that I'm a good person and try to do the right thing and work hard. At this point, I want to go off on her parents. I'm pissed. They hurt her, they hurt me. In my girlfriend's words, they tried to put doubt in her mind and scare her. I don't want them at the house. I don't want to see them. I don't want them anywhere around her. But we always want you around us. And you can always do that by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We got a little bit more.
Jeez, man.
It's a lot.
I wonder how she would feel about, like, not having them around or, like, going low contact again.
Right. Because I almost feel like she went through, like, the same interrogation.
Yeah, which is weird because it's like, well, don't you know me? I'm your daughter.
Right. But they were like interrogating her about OP almost.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I know that there's a cultural difference, but it's like if it's who she wants to marry, like love and support her for it.
Do we know where they are?
I don't know where they are.
Or like what their
Either way though,
is?
wherever they are, I think her family immigrated from somewhere else.
Okay. So yeah,
so
it might be
OP
cultural.
does not have the same cultural stuff as her family.
Gotcha.
So there's already the like disconnect there too.
Yeah.
And he tried so hard to do it like, I'm gonna respect how you guys do it and how you guys feel about it. He just got ripped to shreds.
Honestly, can't you like trust us? Trust your daughter?
Right.
Like, I don't understand all of these rules for getting married.
Yeah, a little bit left. I wouldn't want them involved in the proposal or a wedding. I think the behavior is disgusting. On the other hand, I don't think they are bad people at the core. I think they have issues. I know how important a healthy relationship with parents is, and I want her to have that with them. But at the moment, I am in the mind of cutting them completely out and just saying, F you. She wants to try and salvage the situation and plans to talk to them in a few days. So, am I overreacting here? And that's the end of that story.
My best friend betrayed me at my wedding, so I ruined him the same way.
What did he do to you?
I, 27 male, have a best mate of 20 years, 27 male, who we'll call Luke. We have practically grown up together and we considered each other family. In the past couple of years, I have begun to resent him a little bit, more on this later, but we have gone through so much together that I regarded him as a brother, so I tolerated him. By the way, this comes from Objective Fix 3413, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We're just going to guess what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, we were part of a close circle of friends, and we've all known each other since primary school. As such, we have been on many holidays together, lived together, some of us went to the same uni. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that we're all really close and trust each other with a lot. Something super personal and intimate because we think of each other like family. To that point, I met my now wife, Beth, 27 female, 5 years ago at uni at a coffee shop, and I fell hard. We moved in together after we graduated, and I proposed to her after we were dating for 4 years, and it was one of the best days of my life. Wow. I had done some things that I'm not proud of when I was younger. Lots of partying, substances, drinking, and the stuff which usually follows that. And since I turned 20, I really tried to be a better person and make better decisions with my life. Luke also met his now wife, 27 female, Claire, at the same time as Beth and Claire were also friends, but they started dating around a year after us. This meant that as a couple, we were really close. We did a lot of things together as couples, made some good memories and some bad ones. After our 2-year anniversary, we met up with Luke and Claire for dinner at our place. We were drinking and having a good time. We went around the table saying things, and it fell to me last. I told a lie as I had not yet disclosed my prior transgressions to Beth yet, and I was waiting for the right time. Wrong of me, I know, but part of me was scared what might happen if I did. And of course, Luke knew this. As you can imagine, Beth was not happy with this, and just to make it worse, Luke then decided to rattle off 3 other times that I had again done something dumb. I don't really want to make them too public. As I said, I'm not too pleased about them, but rest assured, if you were getting blindsided by this info, you would not be pleased. Anyway, that ended the dinner awkwardly, and Beth was mad at me for not telling her this previously, and she went to stay at her parents'. Oh wow. This is what started my hatred of Luke. I accept my part in not telling Beth about this because I knew it was wrong, but someone who I considered family didn't even give me the opportunity to tell my future wife about this in the right way, and just blindsided us both. I let it slide because all I really cared about was Beth, and part of me knew that I was more to blame for this than he was. Me and Beth made up, and I told her about all the other things that I did and regretted, and what I've been trying to do since to make up for it. The biggest problem with Luke is that he will always put himself first. He never seems to think or care about what other people want or may think about something. As long as it benefits him or he thinks it's funny, then he'll do it. For example, he will ask to borrow money, but if you ever went to him for something, even as low as £5, he will make some excuse why he can't. He likes to make very personal jokes about people. I'm a short guy at 5'6", got screwed there, and he will always make jokes about my height. I'm usually okay with this because people have been doing it for over 20 years, and I can see the humor, but he has no idea where the limit is and will always carry on no matter the situation, even if he can see it is making me physically uncomfortable. If I was to make a passing joke about his hair, then he would get all moody and sometimes angry. Fast forward a year and a half, and me and Beth are in a great place. We had just moved to London for better career opportunities, and I proposed to her shortly after we moved, and thank God she said yes. Woohoo! Congratulations! Yay! I decided to make Luke my best man against my better judgment, as my parents were very keen on it, and we honestly needed their money to pull it all off.
Okay.
Nice. Coming up to the wedding, I spoke to Luke and Claire specifically and asked them, not just as a friend, but as family, not to mention one of the things that happened on our lad's holiday in his best man speech. In summary, we ended up doing a lot of partying, and me and one of my other mates in our haze ended up getting a spicy worker. Not proud of this, but at least this time Beth knew about it beforehand, but my family did not, and I wanted to keep it that way.
I was just going to be like, and does Beth know this one?
Right.
But she does, and I could totally understand, like, I'd be like, that's just stuff that doesn't need to come up in a speech after you've married someone that you love.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if she knows.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, if the reason that he didn't want that to happen is because he didn't want Beth to know, then I was like, okay, dude, like.
I was like, nah, full send, say it.
Yeah, right?
Tell her before the wedding.
Yeah, absolutely. But I totally understand that you don't want your parents to know.
Yeah.
I think that's totally fair.
I can appreciate that just being, like, a really tacky tactic for a speech.
Yeah.
Like, we just
like talk about our we have so many years together. Talk about our childhood, not our
talk
bachelor
about a goofy
party.
memory.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not super close to my family, primarily because they are very opinionated and will always give me their opinion on personal things and get annoyed with me when I don't agree, even if it's something which does not concern them in the slightest. He apparently understood and said that he would not mention it. Don't like where this is going. Well, no surprise here. On what was supposed to be the best day of our lives, Luke ruined it by mentioning this very thing. Luke, what are you doing?
What are you doing? He asked you to do one thing.
One thing, dude. Honestly, when it happened, I was not surprised. He was laughing while talking about it, and when he glanced at me, he could see the rage in both mine and Beth's eyes. In an awkward 5 minutes, no one laughed at any point in his speech, and when he sat down, he was visibly embarrassed, as he should be.
Yeah, like boo-hoo.
Yeah. My so-called brother did the very thing that I asked him not to do on our wedding day. My family was not pleased with this information and did not hesitate to make that clear to me after the dinner, and my 86-year-old grandparents, who were the only family I was really close to, left early. Oh my gosh.
What are you doing?
Like, I feel like that's so obvious not to talk about. Like, if you're at a group of friends or something like that, like if it's a friends-only wedding, then sure, go ahead.
Even then, though, I'm kind of just like, it's not something to be talked about in that speech.
It's really not. And it's like, especially around family and her family too. Like,
right. It's the same kind of thing when people will bring up like past girlfriends or boyfriends in their speech.
Yeah.
Like, so glad that you're not with. So like, why are we talking about this?
We've moved on.
Not the place.
Yeah. I was crushed by this and consumed with rage, but I did not want to spoil my wedding, so I asked Luke and Claire to leave, and sensing my mood, they thankfully obliged. The rest of the wedding went all right, but after the speech, it was already ruined for us as everyone wasn't really in a mood anymore. My family were obviously pissed about that story, and my friends were pissed at Luke for blatantly ignoring what I asked of him. I didn't speak to Luke much after the wedding as he could sense that I was done with him, but Beth kept in touch with Claire, which I was okay with because I knew it wasn't Claire's fault. Anyway, on to the good bit. Last week was Luke and Claire's wedding. When planning the wedding, Luke asked me to be his best man for his wedding to extend an olive branch. Note that at no point did he apologize for what he said or accepted he was wrong. I agreed, not because I cared about him in the slightest, but because I was going to do to him the very thing that he did to me. Oh boy. Oh boy.
See, now,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with revenge,
Right.
but I think you've already done it at the time of this story.
Yeah, right? I fear it is too late just to stop you.
I think it is.
Vindictive, yes, but I didn't care. He ruined the best day of our lives because what, his ego? There was literally no reason to do what he did, but he did it anyway. When Luke was 18, on a night out, he got with an older woman who was married with 3 kids. Oh boy. The husband found out and tried to fight Luke, but he got the better of him and ended up sending the guy to the hospital. Oh my god. Safe to say, they got a divorce, and Luke practically destroyed a family and had no regrets. I'm so scared for this.
I'm like, honestly though, dude, why are we friends with Luke?
Yeah,
Why are
honestly.
we friends with Luke so long to the point, like, I get it, you grew up with him.
Right.
He's proving time and time again to be a terrible person,
Yeah.
and we're keeping him around.
Yeah, I feel like if you wanted to get revenge on this guy, just like back out at the last minute or something. Like
Yeah,
that's all
honestly, cause them the little panic stress on the day of.
and then that's it.
Yeah.
And then be done with his friendship. Like
then block him. You don't need to be talking to him ever again.
Right. The best thing about this story was he didn't actually tell me not to mention it, and I knew Claire would never know about it. I don't like where this is going.
No.
She grew up Catholic. While she is not practicing Christianity, her family is. So on the day, I stood up and shattered his world. No! I looked him right in the eye as I started it, and I could see the smile drain from his face when he knew where it was going. When I finished it, it was just as awkward as my wedding, but I sat down with confidence because I knew everyone there knew why I shared that story. I enjoyed the rest of the wedding with my mates who all supported what I did. Not their girlfriends and fiancés, but can't win everything. Luke did not look at me once after, as he knew that there's nothing more to say between us. A week on from the wedding, I have not spoken to Luke at all, and I don't want to. I apologized to Claire in person, as it was her wedding day too, and I did feel like it wasn't fair on her to be caught like that, but I explained how I felt about Luke and what he had done at my wedding, the dinner that night. And by the way, I'm about to explain to you that you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but yeah, poor Claire, man.
Yeah, I want to know what her, like, response to that was.
Yeah.
Because, like,
it's her
wedding.
wedding.
I don't know. I get that it might have been the only way to, like, get Luke to realize the pain that he's been causing.
Yeah, and maybe be sorry, I guess.
But there's almost like, I wish maybe it could have been done at like a rehearsal dinner if you really wanted to, or like somewhere else that you toast if you really wanted it to be wedding related.
Right.
Like why did we have to do it at the like day? Because you knew how crappy it felt.
Yeah. But there is a little bit more to the story. Beth and Claire had the same opinion. They understood why I did it, but they're not really happy that I didn't tell them about it. Luke and Claire's parents called me the day after and screamed down the phone, calling me an a-hole for exposing Luke like that, but I laughed back at them. I reminded Luke's parents that they were at my wedding and saw what he did, and it was rich for them to rip me a new one, and despite their son doing the same thing and them saying nothing to me about it on the day after. I don't think that I'm the a-hole here. Sure, immature, I will accept that, but I do have to ask, am I?
But that's the end of that one.
Yes, it is.
I tried banning my fiance's best friend's wife from our wedding, but she came anyway.
Keyword tried.
I don't really know what to do, and there is so much backstory here, but I am really stressing about this girl that's invited to my wedding. I'm not really sure where to start because there is a lot that has led up to this moment. By the way, this comes from Classy Polar Bear 1072. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, ultimately, my fiance has had Matt as his best friend for 20 years. Matt is a cool and solid guy, but not trustworthy. Matt just got married to Kat a couple weeks ago, but they had been engaged since 2022. They were never in a rush to get married, and anytime anyone's asked, that's exactly what they said. After my fiance and I got engaged, winter 2025, and we knew we wanted a short engagement. Matt and Kat immediately started planning their wedding after they found out. Anytime I tried to talk to Kat about her wedding or otherwise, she either gave me an attitude or flat out ignored me.
What?
Unless she has had a few drinks where she's asked about the tea, she ignores my existence completely. When I attended her bridal shower and wedding, she wouldn't even look in my direction. And when I went up to congratulate her, she sounded less than enthused about it. I recently found out that Kat has been saying terrible things about me when I'm not around and essentially tries to turn one of my closest friends against me, and it seems to be working. According to the people I heard from, Kat was talking bad. They think she might be upset that I'm stealing her man's best friend from him. But what? I don't think that makes sense. I don't want her starting any drama at my wedding. I don't want to be stressed that she and my other close friends are spending time together at my wedding. But this is technically my fiance's call, right? Since it's his best friend's wife. It's as much his day as it is mine, but I don't want this girl bringing her shadow and putting a damper on the whole thing. What could be the solution here? We have some relevant comments, but what say you?
I say a conversation needs to take place.
I second this notion.
I believe that, yeah, you need to be straight up with her and be like, hey, girl, what?
What is happening?
And then if she, like, presses or, like, explains it more, like, you're gonna steal him from my best friend. You're my boyfriend's best friend from him. It's like, well,
Right.
Okay, first of all, how? Make that make sense.
I feel like that cannot be the real reason.
Yeah, honestly, you're so right. And even if it is, or if we find out the right reason, be like, yo, I'm like this close to not letting you come to the wedding,
Right.
or like not
Like,
wanting you
what
at the
the
wedding.
heck?
Like, sure, I would want you there. You can lie. Like, I really want you there, and obviously, like, we are going to invite like the boyfriend, the
Right.
best friend, no matter what. But if you keep this up, then I don't want you at my wedding day. If you're
I
so
think
against
it's-
our relationship.
Yeah, really hard though to not invite her too.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you would just invite him and not give him a +1. I think that's it.
Relevant comments. Commenter 1. I think you are going to have a lot more drama if you don't invite her, to be honest. Just don't sit her with your friends. Opie says, yeah, you're right about the drama. We are having a small ceremony, though, 40 people, and there's no seating assignments at the restaurant we booked. It's a buffet and kind of just a lounge type of vibe. Commenter 2. Tough. It's not just your wedding, it's also your fiance's wedding, as you said, and I'm sure he'd prefer it if his best friend had his wife there. Seat her elsewhere and just suck it up for the day. Opie says, actually, he doesn't like her either. Commenter 3 says, OP, is this a pattern for you? And by this, I mean feeling like you have to manage everyone else's emotions to avoid conflict. The reason I ask is that your other post suggests maybe you find it deeply uncomfortable to put yourself forward or let other people manage their own reactions. If I'm wrong, then I'll shut my mouth. If I'm not, and this is a pattern, I feel for you. It's a hard pattern to break, but with work, it is possible. Finally, let people talk about you if you want. It only affects your life if you let it. Be unbothered and focus on yourself. OP says, thank you for this. I've actually done a lot of work to get where I am, but it's still a work in progress. I've always had issues with feeling like I'm a burden to others and just putting myself last, because it's easier to regulate my emotions than deal with other people's emotions. That being said, I figured that a wedding day was important enough to put myself first, but I'm not the only one in the picture here. It's my fiance too. Also, I don't care in the slightest if people talk about me. I just don't want that vibe at my wedding. Commenter 4 says, I don't think you can exclude her without drama. Be the bigger person. People know who the a-hole is. OP says, yeah, you're right. Really looking for boundaries I can set. Or maybe have people that can run interference during the day. I don't know, maybe I'm making a bigger deal than it is. Commenter 5 says there are no drama-free options. Pick the one you can live with. What kind of close friends believe the other person without cause? Opie says probably the people pleaser kind that doesn't like conflict and always wants to keep the peace so they don't stick up for their friends. Commenter 5 responds, You said that Kat was starting to turn people against you. There's a difference between being too wimpy to speak up and switching sides. Opie says, maybe I'm viewing it the wrong way. I understand everyone has their stuff going on, but I've been reaching out to my friend to get together with her since the spring. Without fail, she will cancel or change plans, which never end up happening, but always makes time for Kat. I've gone out of my way for this friend many times. Maybe I'm missing something and I should definitely have a conversation with her directly as soon as I can. But something seems fishy. Maybe Kat didn't turn this friend against me per se, but something is different than it used to be before Kat showed up. But thank you for helping me realize that I need to talk to my friend before jumping to conclusions. Should Opie talk with her fiancé to let him know what was going on and what he thinks about this? Opie responds, I actually just talked to him about everything going on, and he said that everyone that is invited is invited. Asking anyone not to come would cause more drama, which is the opposite of what we want, and that after our day, we don't have to associate with them anymore. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of want to know, like, what it is that Kat's actually been doing. Besides just, like, not wanting to talk about, like, her wedding.
Yeah, like, were there other instances where she was being weird?
And, like, turning your friends against you, which kind of sounds just like your friends hang out with her more, but they're her friends too. Like, I'm not necessarily seeing what drama she could cause at your wedding. Besides, like, talking to your friends.
Yeah, or maybe, like, making weird comments. Because, I mean, she did make weird comments about, like, you know, their relationship. So I wonder if she would do anything like that. But,
I wonder if there's a way to kind of be, like, sure she can come, but if I get wind that she's, like, being witchy, she's out.
Like, just even a whisper.
Right, I'm not dealing with it.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. Honestly, he and his best friend haven't even been talking lately, so I'm not really sure where he stands there. I mean, he still wants him at his wedding, but he doesn't like or respect his best friend's wife. So at this point, they have also been growing distant recently. And we have an update 2 weeks later. Should we just dive right in?
Let's do it.
Okay, so fiance and I talked.
Okay.
He had been growing kind of distant from this friend anyway, so he basically told me that we won't pay attention to them since it's our wedding, and afterwards, we don't really need to associate with them. After this talk, his best friend Matt called him on Saturday afternoon and invited us to his son's birthday party. When fiancé told me about this, I asked who was going to be there. Is it a small thing, or was this planned and we were an afterthought? Matt's wife, Kat, would have done all the inviting to the party. Well, we show up and we were definitely an afterthought. This party was huge. Grandparents, great-grandparents, all their friends, their families, etc. We ended up staying for a little bit, but leaving before most of the others. We kept to the plan we spoke about, even though the whole party thing hurt, especially since my fiancé is supposed to be this kid's godparent.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, the wedding day comes and this group of friends is running late. My fiancé kept walking away from the officiant when they asked if we were ready to start to buy time for the friends to show up. They were probably 20 minutes late. Whatever, I don't care. I'm as cool as a cucumber and I am just going with the flow of the day. We get through the ceremony without a hitch after they arrive. After the ceremony, we do post pics, family, friends, etc. We get to the girls' pick, and Kat is like, do you want me in this? I'm in a fantastic mood, and I don't really think anything of it.
Uh-oh.
But I always think everything of you listening to full episodes of stories just like this. To go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left.
I'm worried with how that was worded and what's going to happen in this picture.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it sounds like the way she set it up sounds like something's about to happen in this picture or about
so
the
I
picture.
can confirm that that's the rest. Like, the picture's not talked about again.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was just like, yeah, you can come in and I'm so happy I'm married.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
At the reception, though, some of my high school friends tell me Kat's being weird, rude, and whatever. My other friend told me at the end of the night that Kat had announced her pregnancy when I was in the other room.
Announcing your pregnancy at a wedding?
And that's a get out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is a get out.
Okay, bye. Go be pregnant.
Bye. Go be pregnant.
Yeah.
Go home.
Oh, you need to rest because you're making a baby.
So sorry. Leave.
Yeah. That's so much worse than proposing at someone's wedding, I think.
Yeah. All in all, there was no direct drama with me, and the day was everything I could have asked for and more. At this point, we are planning on keeping these friends at arm's length and just living our lives. Some top comments. Commenter, in this situation, I think keeping these friends at arm's length should mean not doing anything purposely to engage with them and leave the burden of mending the relationship on them. I agree. If they don't, then you know that they're no longer really friends and you can cut your losses. You all sound really young, so you've probably not yet learned that a lot of friendships you make early in your adulthood don't survive as you all grow, mature, and choose different paths in life. And that is the end of that story.